just had the most horrible dream. That Halo show was just an hour of walking and talking and walking and talking and sitting and talking.
It's capable of creating
home to every misfit, reprobate, outlaw, and renegade.
Governor Venture has control of the situation on Madrigal.
Though I get a sense that you won't be staying.
Well,
I've never seen anything like it.
Oh, man. Howdy, y'all. I am Adam, the Renaissance Nerd. Welcome to my review of Halo Episode 2. What would you expect a Halo show to be about? You would expect a Halo show to be all about the Master Chief kicking ass and taking names. You wouldn't think that you'd go an entire episode without any action in a franchise that is known for its non-stop, hardcore, brutal action. Guns were in this episode, but they were pointed, never fired. We had literally nearly an hour of walking and talking, sitting and talking, more walking, more sitting, more talking, more feelings, more how do you feel? How do I feel? I don't know how I feel. Why did you do this? I don't know. Why? Maybe. Who? Oh my God! This show is utter crap. 53 minutes of nothing happened. Nothing happened. A couple of tiny little info drops, more butchering of the lore from what I can understand, and just horrible dialogue, pathetic music overlaid, and just more Master Chief without his helmet or his armor on. That's right. That's right. They even took his armor off in this one. I can't take this. Oh my God, it's so bad. It's such trash. Oh. All right. Let's get into this. I'm really hoping this is not going to go for very long, because what can I say about an episode where nothing happened? Probably more than I need to.
I am sure I can trust him. But to assuage any doubt, Admiral Parangoski and I have devised an insurance plan for the future.
Alrighty, let's try and get through this as quickly and painlessly as possible, although I'm probably going to suffer, but I suffer for your entertainment. The prologue, young John 117, the Master Chief, looks like he's had planned to escape from the Spartan program with Soarin 66, a young lad who seems to talk as though he came from the streets of the 20th century. I know, dialogue, good job. They quickly have a falling out because the indoctrination in the Master Chief is held firm. It's held firm. He's going to turn his friend in. But his friend speaks of freedom. Freedom from this oppressive system that is making us do things it shouldn't do. Gee, do you feel the agenda being overlaid with the black man talking about freedom? Do you feel it? Hallelujah, do you feel it? Of course, like I said, the indoctrination holds firm with Master Chief. But he gives his friend a whole 5 minutes head start. And then cut away. Master Chief and his teenage gal pal Whammon, who's going to help him return to the connection of humanity. They're on their way through slip space. And she's like, wow, it's so pretty. And then he starts to techno battle. And she's like, shut up. You're ruining it. So little Whammon, girl boss in training, gives him a little bit of a talking to about that, but then he starts to talk about where we're going. Do you have a plan? No. Do you have a plan? Her sarcasm continues about, you don't have a plan? No. Is that all you could say? Yeah. I mean, we move on. We move on as quickly as possible to Dr. Halsey Girl Boss. We call her Dr. Halsey Girl Boss, is talking to some 5-star admiral whose name I don't really catch. Because, let's be honest, I'm not really paying attention to all their names because that's information I don't really need to log in the index. They're having a nice little conversation about how can we trust the Spartans after John 117 has betrayed us? And Halsey basically goes, well, I have a contingency plan. This is Halsey beginning her girl boss takeover. She has to top Admiral Girl Boss in being a bitch. So she's manipulating old man in charge, because this is the guy who's the head of the council. It looks like, look, guys, this is Admiral in charge of the council, patriarchy old man who only sees the end result, doesn't care what it takes to get to the end result. So he's going to be inherently bad. She convinces him that we have a way to control Master Chief because we need the Master Chief. We can't have the Master Chief go AWOL. We can't have him be disciplined or punished because he's our guy. And it's just so, it's bad dialogue. It's bad character. We're not feeling anything for any of these characters at this point. And we even get Silver Team with their helmets off. And I want to note one thing right here. After Silver Team, especially white female diversity inclusion, because remember, Silver Team is diversity inclusion Silver Team. That's what they are. So white girl Spartan, who I think is supposed to have a pink streak, but it looks like they edited that out. I don't see the pink streak in her hair. They might have taken that out. I don't know. I don't see it. But you notice one moment here. Again, the high quality of this show, and now they're taking into account all the little things that would be important. As she's putting on her helmet, you see the ponytail sticking straight out. But then she does nothing to tuck it away and just puts the helmet on. I mean, and you could see in the helmet, there's no room, no space for the ponytail. So it's just, it's mashed in there. The ridiculousness of a Spartan soldier having that much hair, especially in that style, and just putting the helmet on. Just putting the helmet on. What happened to your ponytail? Did it get cut off? No, because we see later in the episode, her ponytail's still there. The helmet didn't cut it off. She put it on. This is what this show is driving me to already. It's bad. We are already 15 minutes in, walking and talking and standing and talking. We're worried about people's emotions. We're worried about their feelings. What are they thinking? What are they doing? This is what this show is at this point. There's going to be no action. There's going to be nothing. It's all bad character dialogue, bad character development, because these people are all paper thin. There's no depth to any of this. And it's boring. It's so boring. You should be on the edge of your seat watching a Halo TV show. We get nothing. Oh, Bo. Well, there's more nothing to come.
Nice you to drop by. Hello, Soarin.
They just couldn't wait to take his helmet off again. I mean, the episode started with his helmet off. He put it on for about 2 minutes to walk down the hall while talking. No. And then here comes Soarin introduced right away. You see this coming a mile away. The prologue basically told you he's going to see Soarin, who's found his freedom. This whole episode, I'm going to say it now, it's a deconstruction of the Master Chief, the iconic hero that for 20 years people loved playing as. The iconic hero who could think for himself and take action on his own and make the morally right choices or the hard choices to save the mission, to find success, to save the day. This entire episode is all about deconstructing the Master Chief, showing that he's a helpless little guy. He needs other people to lead him along, whether it be his old friend who found his freedom, the black man found his freedom, or Little Whammon to give him a nudge in the right direction, or then to go back to Hall's girl boss at the end of the episode because he's cucked by her. He's cucked into her because he can't think for himself. Master Chief can't think for himself. And the thoughts he does make is based on his indoctrination because it's programmed him to think in only one direction. And the only time he does show any emotion, it's outrage and anger. We'll get to that. We'll get to that. But they couldn't wait to take his helmet off again. They couldn't. So he's talking they go to this asteroid belt And predictably, bam, there's Soarin, 66. And it's just walking and talking, walking and talking. How are you? Don't you love my freedom? Don't you love this freedom? It's completely lawless and it's free. These writers don't understand that that is not what lawlessness looks like. If there was absolute lawlessness there would be chaos, anarchy. Clearly, there's some level of law because Soarin's the boss. You see the hypocrisy, the oxymoronic nature of their dialogue, their lore building, their storytelling. They don't know what they're doing. They don't know how to describe things. They want to. This is their possibly their ideology seeping through at some level. Look, this is what we consider freedom to be, and this I don't know. It's so bad it hurts your brain. Trying to dissect this is terrible. And what they walk and talk about is just about freedom this, freedom that. Don't you love this? Isn't this great? Oh, you're so controlled by your indoctrination, Master Chief. I told you, that's what this is about. It's all about that. And what are you doing here? Oh, no. It's just constantly an episode of Soarin talking down to Master Chief. It's all their interactions. Talking down. You don't understand what freedom is. You don't get it. I get it because I found it. I found it with my not diverse family. I mean, they just got to throw it in there. They just got to throw it in there. I mean, nothing wrong with it, but it's all virtue signaling because that's all we see because we know that's all they care about is virtue signaling. And then, to top it all off, they take Master Chief out of his armor. It's not enough that we got to take his helmet away. Let's take him out of his armor completely. Meanwhile, we then cut to Covenant Central. Here's angry little girl boss Whammon angry little girl boss Covenant Whammon. I don't know what else to call her. I don't know her name. The Blessed One. Who I'm saying right now, here and now, I'm saying she is Master Chief's sister. She's Master Chief's sister. I'm calling it right now. I'm just saying, I don't know. I'm just saying Master Chief's sister. I'm just going to say it, or some sort of family member. That's all I'm saying. I don't know. She's dressing down the guys in charge of the Covenant about how she needs to be the one to go get the Forerunner artifact, the Keystone, they call it. And eventually they relent because she's girl boss Whammon and she gets her way. But it's not. Here comes more girl boss stuff.
Cortana is the next stage in human evolution.
Now, I would be a poor reviewer. I would lose some integrity and some genuine perspective on all of this if I didn't at least make note that there wasn't a lot of dressing down of men in this episode by women. Women didn't really talk down to the men all that much. They were, with the exception of the Master Chief getting cucked by everyone, there was no major intersectionalism going on in this episode. I must be fair and say that. But that didn't mean that the girl bosses were still not going full force girl boss. And in this scene alone, it's basically Halsey girl boss undercutting Admiral girl boss in a power play. That's what this whole scene is about. Not to mention the destruction of the Cortana lore. Basically, we cut to the whole council meeting where basically Halsey makes a power play. Because we know that Admiral Girlboss in the last episode didn't want the Cortana program to go forward, but we now learn that we saw in the couple scenes ago that Halsey Girlboss told five-star Admiral Patriarchy that there is a way to control the Spartans, and he said, "Well, make it so. Basically, make it so. Make it happen. Bring it up in the council, and I'll get it done. Because I'm Admiral Patriarchy, and I have no emotion. I have no morals." And so this whole but then here comes the racism in this episode, because this whole scene is to show you now that, and the rest of the episode as well, that Halsey is an evil white lady. She is an evil white lady with no morals, and that all the women of color, Girl Boss Admiral, Miranda Keys, weak-kneed girl boss who constantly looks like she's afraid of the world around her. No dig at the actress, but her expression is constantly. That's her expression. Like the world is constantly going to attack her, and she's afraid of the world. But this whole scene is to show that Halsey Girl Boss is a bad white lady, and the Admiral actually is good because the Cortana program would involve illegal actions of flash cloning. So I was right in the first episode, in my first review of the first episode, where I said maybe this thing that Halsey was looking at, this woman in the stasis pod, had something to do with Cortana. Yeah. So apparently she flash cloned herself, and that's part of the process of creating the Cortana AI, which in this version is done completely to control Spartans, as opposed to the actual lore where it was developed to study Forerunner technology. If I'm not mistaken, somebody in the comments below correct me if I am wrong. So they've destroyed Cortana completely now. We're not going to get an actual Cortana because now it's the evolution, and it's being created completely to control Spartan minds, which again, Spartans are just tools. We're taking away all the depth and the lore of the Spartans and who they are, and that Master Chief. Maybe I start calling him Master Cuck. I don't know. Anyway, Master Chief is that he is that he can think for himself and he can actually make decisions. No. He can't make decisions, obviously. And then we're gonna remove his limited decision making even more by replacing it with an AI derived from my flash clone mind to control more. I mean, this is where they're going. How ridiculous does all of this sound? They think this is good science fiction writing. No, it's not. It's abominable. It's boring. It's stupid. And again, this whole scene, sitting and talking, sitting and talking, sitting and talking. Yay! But we're not done with sitting and talking about our emotions and how we feel and how freedom is freedom. Yay!
I don't taste anything.
Well, you stick around there long enough, you will. That's freedom, man.
What's freedom? Freedom is freedom. Freedom is tasting things. Freedom is having emotion. Freedom is lawlessness. I mean, that's kind of what this idiot writer's room in Halo, I guess, think freedom is. Freedom is thinking for yourself. I guess that is an actual freedom, but that's kind of something that they don't actually probably believe. Oh, that's a discussion for another time. Because we open this scene and we get a glimpse of the warlord who's been installed on Madrigal by the UNSC to restore order, who kind of out of control because he's killing people. Evil white man's just killing people. And it's making Quan angry. He's destroying my father's dream. You mean the dream you didn't care about because you wanted to run away from your homeworld, and then suddenly you cared about it when you were asked to tell the truth about what happened when the Covenant attacked? You mean that dream that you didn't care about because the storytelling's so good? Whew. Deep breath, deep breath. Woosah. Woosah. Okay. But I can't take this seriously. It's so bad. The dialogue is so bad. This monologue that this warlord says is so stupid about this is this freedom and now I have to control order and blah, blah, blah. I mean, you got to understand this is the ideology of these asshole writers seeping through of what they see the world as. I mean, you'll notice as we go through the next couple of scenes, their idea of freedom, no money being exchanged hands, people just helping people out. What does that sound like? Oh, I don't know. It sounds like communism. Oh, God, so bad. It's just so bad. And this part of the show is just a horrible collection of moments. They don't know how to transition. There's no feeling of smooth story point to another because we have one scene now of basically, again, Soarin dressing down the Master Chief. Freedom is this, freedom is that. Sitting and talking, walking and talking, sitting and talking. Oh, look, here comes little boy to tell you what freedom is. It's him trusting you and you trusting him. And that's what this is. Walking and talking, sitting and talking, walking and talking, sitting and talking. What's happening is then we cut to Silver Team, diverse Silver Team, talking and questioning. And I think they're supposed to be laying the groundwork that White Girl Silver Team is questioning things now too for some reason, because it's so badly done and it hurts your brain when you watch it. And then we get back to, oh look, here comes Admiral Girl Boss and Miranda, and again, I said Miranda, I'm afraid of everything, Keys, saying, oh, I should have the artifact that Master Chief is bringing back, not my mom, and the Admiral Girl Boss that says, oh, you're like your mother, just without the polish, and showing that, oh, we're going to be allies because we're the good women, girl bosses of color. Because, again, Halsey is amoral, and she does evil things to people. Now we get to even more lore destruction, from my perspective. This next scene, oh, God. It's so dumb. And it's just more talking, except now it's crazy people talking.
What is that ring?
A door.
To what?
The end of life as we know it.
Let's just run Gauntlet right through to the end of this because I don't want to stay with this any longer than you do. So Soarin says there's one way we can figure out this artifact that you found might have meaning to the Covenant because there's a guy in our crazy person holding cells. Because, wait, I thought this was freedom. I thought this was freedom. But we still got to put the crazy people in holding cells because they're crazy and they might actually hurt other people. But I thought this was freedom where you could do whatever you wanted. Freedom. They go to the freedom of the crazy people. This guy named Wrath, I think, who was on a Covenant ship. Yeah, okay, he was on a Covenant ship. How did he escape? Why did they capture him? Well, we sort of know why they captured him, because Covenant were looking for people like the Blessed One who can interact with Forerunner tech. But how did he escape? Why did he escape? Of course, we're not going to tell you any of that good stuff. That might actually make it more interesting. Give it a little back. No, here's just crazy person, crazy guy in a cell who will babble and wabble and dabble until Master Chief yells at him to focus and shows him the artifact. And then he starts rambling until the Master Chief gets angry and yells at him some more, because that's the only Master Chief will show emotion when he gets angry. He's like, what am I? What am I? So crazy guy Wrath grabs the artifact and then tries to hit Master Chief with it, but Master Chief catches him and catches it, and suddenly the keystone activates again, and you see Master Chief's like, oh my God, I'm being on Halo, and here's some bad overlay of the classic Halo theme, and it's just more rambling and crazy guys yelling, and you're gonna destroy us all, and here's what I talked about for the transition of lore destruction. Remember in the original game, it's Cortana who discovers what the true true purpose of the Halo system is. The rings. That it's to destroy life as we know it, because the Forerunners had to stop the flood from getting everywhere, and in order to stop the flood, just remove their food source. No, now some crazy guy who spent time on a Covenant ship's going to tell us that little nugget of important Halo lore. Yay! Isn't that great storytelling? And he does it in crazy fashion. You're supposed to be pulled in, but no, we are not into this scene at all, because we don't care about any of these characters. All we've heard for 40 minutes at this point is freedom, freedom, freedom. But we're going to go talk to a guy who's locked in a cage because freedom is being locked in a cage? I don't know. I don't know. All the while, more dressing down of Master Chief, who is also special. He's dressed down, but he's special because he can see the ring, and that's why they want him. They want people like him. You have to destroy it, destroy yourself. It's also bad. It's also bad, but we're not done. We aren't done, because now it's more Master Chief deciding that he has to go be cucked some more. I can't deal with this myself. I have to run back to Halsey. And so, of course, then Soarin has to dress him down about him being cucked to Halsey. You know, you should be cucked to me and my idea of freedom instead of going to be cucked to Halsey. But no, Master Chief has made up his mind. He's going to put his armor back on and his helmet back on. Yay! And yet it means nothing. To see the Master Chief in his helmet means nothing at all anymore. And he leaves Quan behind with Soarin protect her. Of course, we get the idea that now Quan is going to go on a revenge mission. So now, I mean, I didn't expect them to do this. I thought they were going to have Quan, you know, join at the hip with Master Chief, but it looks like we have separated her, because now it looks like she's going to go on her vengeance mission to save Madrigal, and maybe Soarin will be involved in that. I don't know. I do not know, and I don't really care, because anything that doesn't involve the Master Chief shouldn't even be covered. All we should have is 24/7 Master Chief, real Master Chief, not this Master Cuck that we're getting, because then he goes right back, turns himself into Silver Team. They take him back to Reach, and he's sitting in a cell after Halsey is getting all wet and juicy over the Keystone, and they have this conversation where he basically then is, I can't think for myself. I need you to tell me what to think, Dr. Halsey, girl boss. Because I have my armor and helmet off again. And she's like, oh, you've made a good decision. We're going to do good things. I'm going to introduce you to Cortana. And we're going to have Cortana. But not the actual Cortana that fans would want to see. And then it ends with Cortana Flash clone waking up and, okay. Oh, and I forgot. Covenant girl boss is stripping down to get dressed as a regular human to her mission to get the Keystone. I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to watch this anymore.
Thank you. You made the right choice.
Halo Episode 2. 53-odd minutes of walking, talking, sitting, talking. Nothing happened. Not a shot was fired. The Master Chief is a massive cuck. Nobody is likable at all. People were getting a bad definition of freedom. We have more lore destruction. And that's what we have to look forward to. More lore destruction. And where's the fun in any of where is the fun in any of this episode? I challenge you, if you watched it, to tell me. There was not an ounce of fun or enjoyment of anything in this episode. Just girl bosses being politically motivated or power hungry. Girl bosses being shown to be evil, because white girl boss is more evil than women of color girl bosses. And then we have girl boss in training is going to go on her vengeance mission, and free black dude is not cucked, but he's going to cuck another guy because he's going to tell him what he thinks freedom is. And freedom. I mean, what is freedom in this? It's a hodgepodge definition. And unfortunately, I'm not free to stop watching this. Some people say to me, oh, just stop watching. So I'm not free to stop watching this. Somebody has got to show off how bad it is. I can't just stop. Enough people in our sphere have watched one episode and said, that's it, I'm not going to bother. Somebody's got to document this, and it might as well be me. And I'm going to suffer for it, even though I don't want to do this. It's bad. And what is this storytelling? We know nothing. We know very little of anything than where we were in last episode. We know a couple of key bits of information about the Keystone that the Master Chief can touch on. Again, butchering Master Chief backstory and lore, butchering Halo lore, butchering Cortana lore, butchering general lore all around. And now we're gonna get probably Quan on her own going down the line in this. Which, who asked for that? Nobody wants to watch girl boss in training, powerful little women on a revenge mission for her people of a dream that she didn't care about until she decided to care about it when told to tell the truth about what happened when the Covenant attacked her colony. This show is a disaster. It's only going to get worse. And how can you have a Halo show where nobody shot one single gun in the entire... There was no action in this whole episode. And the woke SJW agenda is running rampant. Yes, there was no intersectionality, but the ultra-feminism, the racism, the woke racism, which is actual racism because they're dividing everybody into your little silos, how they should see you and behave. The deconstruction of the white male hero being talked down to by everybody, showing that he can't make a decision for himself. because every decision he's making is based on something else influencing him. And when he does make that one decision, oh, is it right to kill a girl? It just didn't feel right. The one thing he's saying, it's still shrouded in, because it didn't feel like he actually made a decision. It feels like he stumbled into it. This is not Halo. This is an abomination. And I guess I'll see you at episode 3. Thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks for watching, everyone. I don't do Facebook. I will never do Twitter. If you want to reach out to me, email me at therennerd@gmail.com. I'm on Getter now, at therennerd, the Geeks and Gamers forums under @ROAS, and you can also follow me on Odyssey at the Renaissance Nerd. Thanks again for watching. Take it easy.